everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in... I don't have the closed caption up, apparently. Today is April 29th, 2024, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to again join us at patreon.com/indooradventures. But let's say you already support us on Patreon and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support all of these wonderful shows? Well, guess what, Acorns? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, that is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks. We even have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where all of the proceeds of our merch currently goes to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. Today I'll be playing Kid, the Genasi sword mage. We both go by he, him. He's a cowboy. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I'm LBHackEmUp, and I'm going to be playing Trisannas. She is a Wilden Seeker. We both go by she, her.
Hoi, I'm Cyber, use he or whatever pronouns. I play Rakel. Rakel is a William Shatner, she, her.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be playing as Carruthers Edelweiss, also known as Ruth to his friends, goes by he, him pronouns. Yeehaw!
That just leaves me. Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as the DM. Hi. Remember me? I'm running this game. I'd like to run it some more, so let's do it. But first we need to do the recap. After barely surviving an ambush by outlaws known as Dusty's Devils, our posse hunkered down to lick their wounds and plan their next move. They find out that the next deputy they need to take down is a man named Six Spurs, who ran with the Roves in his youth and went on to found the Parcel Concordant. He was last spotted in Serendipity, which just so happens to be the town that Kid grew up in. As they rode into town, they nearly got caught up in the Squall, a permanent storm that spins outside of Serendipity and mysteriously charms and attracts horses. Finding the town mostly abandoned, Kid led the posse to his childhood hangout, a bordello called the Lotus Garden. The posse found that the sheriff of Serendipity has become a tyrant, collecting taxes from the citizens. I have taxes in heavy quotation marks here. Collecting, quote-unquote, taxes from the citizens and harboring some sort of grudge against Kid. Knowing that they would have to cross swords with Hall sooner than later, the bordello directed them to ally with one of his greatest enemies, and that's how they came to find themselves standing outside of the Hooskow, with this potential ally waiting within and playing a harmonica.
Now, for those of us at home, a Hooskow is a jail?
Yes.
Okay.
I looked this up because I was like, how do you spell that? I looked this up and it's cowboy slang, and a lot of cowboy slang comes from this actually. It's a bastardization of Spanish, the juzgado, which means courthouse.
Okay. Well, all right. I learned something.
Well,
today.
all
Thank
right.
I'm an hombre here at the Hooskow.
I learned something new today.
Pokey is an enemy in Mario.
Okay, so who all is at the jail?
All of you,
Sparky.
unless you would like to not be, because last time we kind of comedically cut to you guys standing outside of the prison, just it's all like, oh, there's a guy that you should talk to, and then like, here, let me write down his address, and then like cut to the prison.
So,
So technically, you could be anywhere you want.
so this is the address. Is this what houses here normally like?
No, this particular abode houses criminals, or people the sheriff deems as criminals in cells.
Right.
So is he a lawman, or is he currently on a state-sponsored vacation?
From my previous check of a 22,
Mhm.
do I remember that this person does not like the sheriff, right?
Yes. The reason why you were directed to him is because you're clearly gonna have to face off with the sheriff eventually. Um, this guy and the sheriff have beef, so he could potentially be a good ally
In
in
the
this
grand
situation.
scheme of things, does it really matter if he's bad or good? He hates the sheriff. We could use that.
Right.
More information that you guys would be privy to by this point. Uh, he evidently was previously a part of the Parcel Ponies. And you remember seeing him hang around. He's kind of washed up.
All right. Is the jail in use? Like, is there activity? Do I see like deputized dust bunnies in there?
No sign of any authority here, at least from the outside.
Yep. Can I peek into a window? Just like,
Sure, give me a perception check.
I don't know if this is still in use, but I'd rather not run into any of the sheriff's
Oh!
men if I can.
Before I forget,
Rewards?
each of you take 2 action points.
Holy
I
shiest.
I forgot to award those after you succeeded in your skill challenge last time.
Hell yeah.
So for surviving the squall, take 2 action points, each of you.
There's a solid moment of Kid just looking into the window, pressing his hands and eyes against it to make it so that he could see better. I can't see shit.
Oh, honey, you have to open your eyes to see.
They are open.
Right.
Ruth is gonna try the door to this
Sure.
building?
You open her up. That lonely harmonica sounds louder from in here. And having opened the door, you find that you actually recognize the tune. It's the Prospector's Lament.
Ruth will pull out his harmonica and he will play it back to them.
Playing the same song,
Yeah. Well,
harmonizing.
I'll play a complimentary piece. Like if it was to be like a mashup of sorts. Because the Prospector's Lament, I assume, can be played as a trail song, can be played with any number of instruments. There are a multitude
Something
of parts.
that works for me.
So Ruth is wanting to get into the ensemble
Okay.
part for this
have a look at the skill list and tell me if there's a performance skill.
There is not. There is diplomacy, bluff, streetwise.
Oh,
Would
just
this be
give
like a
me...
streetwise check?
Sure. Yeah, let's go for that.
Would I get? No, I don't think I'm proficient in harmonica.
I can assist since I know the song too. I could start singing it.
Sure.
All right. So that means either a 3 or a 9.
Wonderful.
Harmonica is not usually an ensemble instrument.
So yeah, you start playing, and Triss sings along, and eventually you guys hear this harmonica sort of trail off. And whether it's because, he's offended or if he's just listening, we'll leave that up for you to find out, I guess.
It'll poke his head in. Mr. Sparky, I assume?
Present.
Alright. Just flicks his duster while walk past Ruth and Triss. Hi. I was told that I should speak with you in a very, in a matter that concerns you.
All right. You come walking into this room. It's fairly small, all things considered. It's pretty much just one room all to itself. There is a desk, which is vacant, and there is a sort of walled-off cell back in the corner. And behind bars, sitting on the cot, with his hat pulled low, sort of these dark-colored boots kicked up, wearing a poncho, is a fella whose face you can't quite see yet. And he seems to be putting his harmonica away, which looks to be hung off of a chain around his neck. He just sort of like tucks it under his poncho. All right, you wanted to talk? Go ahead and talk.
Right, so my name's Kid. I used to run around with the Wandering Sons. Came back to town.
You see him like move his head with some interest. Like he was completely detached from the conversation before, but now he's like, huh.
Yeah, you might have seen me holed up in the bordello sometimes when they went out. I was like a small kid back then. I'm gonna kill the sheriff.
Hat still pulled low over his eyes. He's gonna sit up. He's gonna put his feet underneath him. And as he does so, as his boots hit the ground, you realize that actually they're made out of metal, as there's a loud clatter. And he stands up, and there's a clank, clank, clank as he walks over to you. And you realize that not only are his boots made out of metal, evidently he's wearing metal armor on his legs as well. Just sort of this black gunmetal mat.
I've seen this kung fu movie. He's about to kick someone's head off.
He kind of like leans on the bars, and then he like pops his hat up with the flick of one finger, and he says, "You're the Sun's kid?"
More or less, yeah.
Interesting. So, where is it?
Everyone notices Kid just adopt like this very flat tone, and if he did have eyes, they would glaze over as he responds, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Yeah, neither do I. Why do y'all have to keep using pronouns whenever you don't say the antecedent?
sometimes there are secrets that are best kept at the pronoun level.
I see how it
Alright.
is. We're not good enough friends to be talking about that sort of stuff. That's all right.
Help me
Sort of-
out, and maybe I might have some looser lips tonight. I know how that sounds. Take that as you will.
Eyebrows just sort of raise.
I've sucked a dick in my day.
Jesus. This guy's kind of like it's a little hard to tell initially from the poncho that he's wearing. Sorry, there's baby fights going on behind me. You guys can't hear it, but Morticia's growling at Bram. It's a little distracting. Kiddos. Calm down. Okay, sorry. It's a little hard to get a read on his on his build necessarily. He's actually pretty scrawny, all things considered. He's not too big, not too strong. He's got kind of a weak chin. And he's got some mean 5 o'clock shadow. And I gotta say, he smells like he spent the night sleeping in a pile of whiskey.
Gross.
And he just sort of like pushes back from the bars and says, "That's fine. When you're looking to be friends, I'll be waiting here." And he goes and he lays back down on his cot and he starts playing his harmonica again.
It's give and take, mister. You know that, right?
Do you need us to leave the room so you can converse more freely? Is that a situation that's going on? Because, hey, if you're not ready to spill your beans, don't worry.
Yeah, I guess. Can you give me a few minutes with him, please?
You heard the kid? Few minutes tops.
I'm gonna go find a spirit.
Okay.
In a jail? Doesn't seem too hard.
You could try the gallows. Listen, Mr. Sparky. I only have half of it.
He's gonna sort of like break off his little harmonica lick and just sort of look at you. How can you only have half?
Because the sheriff has the other. Why do you think he's so up in arms looking for me?
I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about. Let me speak plainly.
Yes, please. Let's.
So the treasure that your posse left behind. the
Oh,
Wayward
I thought you were
Sons.
talking about the map.
Right. Now, see, I figured he couldn't have had any of it on account of the fact that he's losing his mind trying to find you, trying to find that treasure, and
Yeah.
a distinct lack of power up after he took out the Suns.
After he took out the Suns, he managed to get half of the map towards the treasure. The other half is with me.
I see. Well, sounds like your half of the map is the important part.
Yeah, all things considered. I could just run away, but I can't do that to the folk here. Damn near raised me.
Just about. So what's your plan now?
Either call the sheriff out and do him in at high noon, or maybe we could sneak into his place and steal the map back and get to the treasure before he can. Really depends on how much firepower I got on my side.
All right. Well, if you're looking for help, I'm looking to help you.
Kid will reach through the bars for a handshake.
He reaches out and takes your hand.
All right, Mr. Sparky. After all this is said and done, what do you want out of this?
He kind of like looks you up and down, as though trying to decide exactly how much he should tell you.
I've put out all my cards on the table. Diplomacy?
Okay, yeah.
22.
Do you know why the parcel concordant fell through?
I don't rightly know, sir.
No horses.
Is it because of the squall outside?
He just kind of gives a nod, slow and thoughtful. Squall took all the horses. No horses, no concordant. I want my horse back.
All right. Your horse specifically, or just any horse? We've got a couple of horses in town.
Oh, no. Mine's special.
Right. Excuse me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You'll walk out, try and find people.
I'm gonna call everybody back in.
I'll see what everyone else is up to in the meantime. I imagine this conversation took a couple of minutes.
Did I find
Oh,
a
yeah, good
ghost?
point. Triss, where do you go to find a ghost?
Maybe out back. Are there like graves around here? Like, where would they bury the people that die in the prison?
Graveyard Hill!
Or there could just be ghosts hanging around the
I'll
pokey.
I figure you don't have to go too far. I think they have a small boneyard not too far off from the Hooskow.
Mhm.
You go down the street a little bit, where you find a few crosses sticking up out of the dirt.
Mhm. Just try to sit there and wait for someone to pass. Try to channel a ghost.
Mm-hmm. I've described this in the past as like it's not necessarily just like there's a ghost in the ghost zone and you like
Mhm.
you like can see the ghost zone. It's a situation where like it's like a kaleidoscope. You kind of have to like, or a radio. You have to like tune to the right channel. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Is there any particular vibe that you're tuning yourself to?
I'm trying. So we know that all of this happened fairly recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the last 6 months or so.
I
Maybe
mean,
s-
like kid left 6 months ago, right? Is that
Yeah.
correct on the timeline? Okay, yeah.
So maybe a recent soul, someone who's could see the changes happening in the town.
Someone who has recently passed.
Mhm.
Okay. You find that not many graves here are marked, and the ones that are don't really have like, you know, they aren't labeled per se.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
more
yeah.
like, here's where some bones are, don't dig here next.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um um you move from grave to grave. And finally you find a place that the earth is not piled up
Mhm.
because that would be fresh. It is sunken in, which
Mm.
indicates like, within the past few months.
Yeah.
So you sort of stand in front of there and in a do the arcane equivalent of sort of like knocking on the door on the door, right?
Yeah.
You hear the sound of metal sort of scraping against metal, and sizzling oil, the scent of a campfire. Hello?
Hello. My name is Trisannas. I don't mean to be bothering you, but I did have some questions if you have some time.
No, I got nothing but time now, it seems.
May I sit?
If it pleases the lady.
She side saddle sits on the ground, their knees together.
As this ghost begins to manifest, it's sort of a portly looking fellow, kind of has Coke bottle glasses, a round nose, and sort of gray mutton chops, a striped shirt.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you remember your name, fella?
Well, I reckon all my friends used to call me Cook.
I take it that's why you smell so lovely.
Oh, that you are too kind, dear.
I'm sorry to barge in on you like this. I know, not used to talking to the living. But I was wondering if you could give me some insight into the things that have been happening in this town.
I'll do the best I can.
Well, I've been traveling with a young man named Kid, a genasi of some type.
There's sort of a sparkle in this man's eyes.
We were wondering, well, what's happened over the last 6 months that have really changed things. I know that the squall has taken a lot of the horses, but do you know anything else about it? Do you know where they are, or are they just caught up in its swell?
The squall took the horses long ago. Years ago.
I see. Has anyone been known to get one back?
Not that I know of. Very few people go into the squall and come back. That Sparky fella. He's always trying to get his horse back. But the squall keeps spitting him back out.
Well, perhaps it's not ready for him yet.
Sparky fella keeps on beating himself against the Miss of Barovia. I mean, what?
Now, this sheriff of the town, he's been going a little crazy.
Oh,
Have you
man.
noticed?
Mm-hmm. I'd
that's-
say it'd be hard not to notice.
It seems that someone could use that to their advantage if they were trying to upset the apple cart a little bit.
Suppose you could. Are
You wouldn't
you
happen.
looking to
Oh.
upset some apple carts, miss?
It seems so. We'd like to rid this town of a corrupt government.
That is... You've got your work cut out for you, miss.
Well, it'd be helpful if I had some behind the scenes information as to perhaps what this man does behind closed doors or times where he's the most weakest. A good time to strike, if you know what I'm saying.
seem to know to ask all of the right questions, don't you, miss?
Now, I listen a lot, and I observe, and usually it gets me where I need to go.
I can say that I've had a similar experience. Not many people pay attention to what's going on in the kitchen. But when you're in the kitchen, well, you can overhear a few things.
Wonderful. Have you ever heard anything?
The way that Sheriff Hall operates, it's actually deviously ingenious. He is the sheriff, the lawbringer, the protector of serendipity. However, he can be persuaded to look the other way. The way that he operates is that he likes to adopt a gang of outlaws. And those outlaws will operate in his territory, not terrorizing the country folk, mostly just collecting a toll from passers-by. Sheriff Hall gets cut, and the outlaws get to operate in a lawbringer's territory unmolested. Now, when those outlaws start getting a bit too rich for his liking, well, it's time for the harvestmen to come and cut the corn that's getting a bit too tall, if you catch my meaning. He just sort of like draws a thumb across his neck.
I understand.
This
And
is
are they getting that way?
well, they were. So I see I hope that you see where I'm getting at here, miss. It was the Wayward Sons that were his most recent pet project, as it were.
Oh, I see. That was the group that adopted our dear kid.
He
Oh.
nods solemnly.
Well, I've heard a little bit about that, definitely.
You're looking for some juicy gossip?
Well, I was looking to know if when he's most vulnerable, if he were to be taken out, it would need to be at a time where he's alone and most quiet.
It's a good point. I'm afraid if I knew precisely when he was most vulnerable, I wouldn't be in the situation I am now.
That is fair, but the situation you are in now allows you a little bit more freedom to move about. Get into places you shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying.
He just sort of like puts a hand to his chest, looks a little offended. Are you saying that I would want to take vengeance on the man that murdered me and my folk? In any way possible?
She, like, shyly shrugs. What I am
Ma'am,
saying.
Ma'am, you presume too much.
Well, my apologies. I was just saying, sheriff of the town must have a rightful big kitchen.
But now
If you've
that you
never been
suggest
in.
it,
Just an idea, if you're interested.
well, I could be amenable to a collaboration. What is your idea exactly?
Well, if you could go into the sheriff's home and take a look-see and let us know, perhaps give us a sign when he is at his most vulnerable, we can, well, vengeance is such a harsh word, but eradicate the town of a blight that has found itself here.
Well, how about this? Come breakfast time tomorrow, I'll come back to you, and we'll see what exactly I can rustle up.
Well, that would be very appreciated. Thank you, Cook.
I think he just sort of nods solemnly at you.
Mhm.
And there's a sound like dishes being washed, and he
Mhm.
sort of fades away.
Tris puts a hand up towards Dusty to help her up.
Was I here this whole time?
I don't know. Wherever you
I've
are, she's
been
like,
here the whole time.
Dusty, would you mind? Scooter. Dusty?
Um,
Friend?
yeah, I think Ruth would have hung out with Triss during all of this. Otherwise, he would have just trying to be. He would have been trying to chat with Rakel, unless Rakel had something that she was planning on doing.
Rakel does have something that she was planning on doing.
Totally fine.
Which, I mean, you would have been welcome to tag along with. But Rakel wants to check in on like the like primal spiritual energy, see if there's like any disturbances, particularly around like the path of the squall. If there are any signs of like disturbances or like natural energy being like stolen or rerouted or tangled, if any of the spirits are particularly like wrong in any way.
Okay. Are you doing this like from a distance? Is this are you're going out
Yep.
to like the path of the squall to
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm assuming you're going into like the aftermath of it, not like into the Okay. Sure. Give me a nature check.
I am going to roll speak with spirits first for that, and then so that's 20.
Works for me. Okay. When you come out here, most everything that would be living has been torn up and scattered. Like there's not a lot of animals living out here. There's not a lot of plants. I I, I want to say that like you're probably riding Morabek to get out here. We get like a wide shot of this particular area, and it's like there's a trough just dug through the vegetation of like the regular plains lands out here, because like just over time this storm just circles over the same spot over and over and over again. Um, it's strange. Not much can grow here. Um, like it is a dead place. So like I hate that every time you go to like look for spirits somewhere, I go like there are none. There's no spirits. But like in this place, I feel like there's a reason for it. Perhaps some like water like deep below the earth, but no plants, no animals out here. So like knowing that this is a place with a lot of violence, really, I feel like the spirits kind of steer clear the same way that animals do in this area. But I will say an interesting thing that you notice, looking in this dry dust, for the most part, any like animal tracks are blown away. But scattered here and there, you do find hoof prints. Shoed hoof prints.
Like, like natural formed hoof prints, or larger, smaller. Definitely weird that they weren't blown away, but
Normally sized, but in large numbers. In fact, you kind of put together that it reminds you a lot of a town, in the sense that it is dry earth that has been trod over and over and over again by hundreds and hundreds of horses.
are they all orientated the same way, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
In a weird circular pattern, actually.
so they're doing that, not going that way.
Yes.
Okay, so they are okay.
It's kind of a corkscrew. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start heading back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like Triss went off to do her thing, to speak with spirits, and Ruth was kind of like figuring out to go with it, and then he turned to say something to Rakel and sees Rakel like summons mount gone, like
Yeah. Yeah, like the camera pans over as Ruth turns to talk to Rakel, and we see her already just
yeah,
like
just
riding
gone.
off.
So I
Yeah,
think,
she's just already in the distance.
so I think at that point he would have sort of just like put his hands in his pockets and just kind of like moseyed on over to where Triss is, and that's right at the time where Triss is like, Ruth, and like extends the hand, just be, oh, okay, like.
Well, we have a friend on the other side who's going to give us some information after breakfast in the morning.
Well, that sounds fantastic. What's the name?
The name they gave me was Cook.
You think that's one of kids? Like 7 dads or whatever it is he's saying that he has?
Well, I suppose it could be. We should ask him.
All right. And then he'll just pull your hand up, and I imagine that's around the time that kid.
Everyone else comes back.
Yeah, kid, you're just like, hey, everybody, we're done having our secret conversation.
It's just like the door swings open and you just hear 2 short whistles.
Was that meant for us?
I think so. I feel like there are better ways of getting our attention, but it was short and to the point.
I'm not used to being treated like a horse, but I suppose we should get going.
Well, if it was a horse, it'd be like 2 clicks and then like a giddy up, I think.
Well, I'm glad it's not that then.
I don't know if I'm making this better. Hey, Rakel!
Why did it sound like somebody was trying to heal their hound?
I think that was Kid's way of saying that he was done with his super secret conversation that we weren't supposed to be a part of. I think. Best way to ask him, otherwise he's in danger, and maybe that was a cry for help. We never really established a safe word.
Pineapple, pineapple!
Like a danger word. Like I said, folks I knew a long time ago, they used to say carriage when things went sour.
Do you see many carriages around?
No.
Rakel started walking back.
Yeah, please. Before we go inside, I did, when we're together, before we go inside, I did have a conversation with a lovely spirit that had taken up outside. They went by the name of Cook, I believe, is what they said. Rotund gentleman with, big bottle glasses and a nice round nose.
Towards me?
Mm-hmm. Just like she says it to the group, but like that just very obviously looks at kid.
No, how did that go?
Seems like he's interested in giving us information on when dear friend the sheriff might be vulnerable. He gave us insight, gave me insight into how the town works as the sheriff letting, well, I hate to say a group of ruffians, but a group run about and do their lot until they get too big for their britches and make too much money, and then they are eradicated, which I believe is what happened to your folks.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hmm.
I think the horses are still in the squall.
Huh. How? Not that I'm mistrusting you on this. I'm just wondering how the horses would survive getting tossed up, and yeah, I'm gonna trust your judgment on this one.
Well, they're still leaving tracks, so they might be forming this. Like, they might be on the ground of it, not necessarily being pulled up. I don't know.
They're running with it?
Mm-hmm.
Which falls into some of the stipulations that Mr. Sparky has put in front of us for his help on our endeavors here.
Neat. How's he gonna help?
He wants his horse back, and the squall had taken it.
All right, but that's not what I asked. I asked how is he gonna help?
Backup, firepower. I didn't really go over his skill set. I wanted to confirm if he was on board first. It says he's the biggest detractor of.
But ain't he locked up?
Kid pulls out his gun and just.
Are you gonna shoot him through the bars? I'm
lock
not
off.
picking up what you're putting down.
I'm going to free him when we get the chance.
I thought you needed a key for that.
Yeah, brute force also works half the time.
Locks are mechanical, encased in metal.
I
If you
understand
shoot
the
them-
mechanism of a lock, but I figured that a key was how you get through a lock.
Well, the key might be with the sheriff, so don't really have many options unless any of y'all know how to pick a lock.
That is not depends. No, I'm not
Depends on
proficient.
what it means.
I'm not trained in it.
My skills in thievery are less than exciting.
Say on
Is
a
this-
scale of 1 to 10, probably like a 2.
Is this conversation happening outside of the pokey or inside?
I mean, we shouldn't
Like in the
hang out
foyer
outside
of the
pokey.
pokey.
Okay. I
Assume
imagine
the
you're
pokey
having
is
this
just a room.
conversation, and like just sort of like, holding on to the bars behind you is Sparky. He just sort of like looks down towards the lock, and he reaches over and he just sort of like pushes the door and it's like swings open. And then he just
What
kind of like wanders over. What are we talking about?
But why?
That's
Why?
free housing.
Why?
Oh, well, I figured I'd try.
Okay,
Is-
Nate, how are you gonna help with this whole situation?
Well, pretty good in a fight, if I do say so myself.
List your actual skill set, please.
I kick good. He just sort of like clicks his heels together and there's a metallic clank and you see a shimmer of law go up his legs.
Oh,
that disproves my theory that I had as to why you're doing that.
And let me just put it this way. They don't call me Sparky because it's my name. I kind of earned that moniker.
You use fire magics?
Close, but no cigar. I make sparkles. Just sort of like shrugs, and he like does a little stomp, and you hear some thunder and a few bolts of lightning sort of crackle out from his feet.
Oh. See, I had a friend in the circus named Jubilee, and she actually created sparklers in her hands, but that is much better than what she does, if I do say so.
She could do other things.
Kid do other things.
She was a vampire at one point.
And I'm pretty speedy, if I do say so myself. I could outrun most people in a foot race, last I checked.
With your contraptions on?
Yeah.
Huh.
I have a question. You want us, or bare minimum, you want Kid to get your horse? And your horse is in that sentient cyclone that's raising tall, tall walls of wind that's pulling horses directly into it. Am I reading that room right?
Yeah, I think you're about right.
Now,
How-
okay, so
how
I've heard
long-
also that you have gone, or at least attempted to go into it, but you keep getting sent back. Now, why is there like a rule, like no, like you can go into the cyclone as long as you don't own any of the horses in the side of the cyclone or something? Like, do you know why you are being rejected from this squall?
Because he ain't a horse.
What? Are you serious? Is that is that the reason? Let's
It's the
find
most
somebody-
logical answer.
Then
Like,
we
what do you
gotta find
want?
somebody who can polymorph all of us into horses and ride that son of a bitch until we can get back Sparky's.
How long has the squall been around?
As long as I can remember.
About as long as the parcel concordance been disbanded.
About like a couple of years, essentially.
You can only remember back a couple of years?
Can't you?
Very young. Right? You all young?
Yes, ma'am.
Heartache to heartache we stand.
Is there more of a story there?
I grew up here. That's about it. It appeared one day out of nowhere and started sucking up horses and couriers, and the Concordance disbanded.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure amnesia wasn't part of your backstory.
I know.
I'm
Good to
sorry, I
rule it
just
out.
had a hallucination. Right.
So
okay.
so actually how long ago was the squall?
Wings.
Okay. Let me work out the timeline here. I don't have an exact number on how long ago it was. I really have more of a like this happened and then this happened and then this happened, right?
Well, mostly I want to rule out like, was the sheriff around whenever the squall started? Were the deputies around whenever the squall started?
Right.
It sounds like
Yes.
the
Yes, they
squall-
were.
it sounds like the squall was a little bit before
Yeah.
our deputies' time.
The squall has been around for the entirety of Kid's life. So longer than Kid has.
Okay. Which would mean it and is our Six Spurs, is he older or younger than Kid?
Older.
Older. Yeah.
How much older?
Kid is
By
in his like
much.
20s, right?
Yeah, he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
If I remember the lore of Six Spurs, not by much, because he was a kid back when he was in the Compass Rose running messages.
Yes. Yeah, I would put Six Spurs in like his 30s maybe.
Okay. So we can debate whether or not a 10-year-old Prodigy would have
Summon.
the law capability to summon a Stampede Cyclone.
Horse tornado or carousel, as it were in Spanish.
Dolly Parton Stampede.
That's pretty funny. I didn't put that together.
More liklikely probably coming back on the sheriff. Do we know anything about like the sheriff's ability, or is the sheriff a lawman?
Yes. Yes, he is. Both metaphorically and literally.
Does the sheriff have a poster?
No. Because he's with the law and not against it. Only outlaws get posters.
He's doing
wanna-
shady shit on the side, but still maintaining his official title as sheriff.
Yes. Why are you looking? Would you like to know his gold total? Is that the case?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me check my notes. You'd think I would think that would be something that you guys would want to know eventually. And I didn't necessarily write it down.
So, do we know if the squall, is this like a chronological thing? Is it run on some sort of timer? Or are we going to have to chase it down? Or is it a situation where, like, we just, whenever anyone rides a horse out into the plain between the forest and the opening of Serendipity, this big horse tornado shows up, like it's smelling horse in the morning, and just like, hey, you, I'm gonna get you. Like,
It's very
No,
much
no,
on a
no.
schedule.
Yeah,
we can
the
track
squall
it.
you can. I mean, like it's a bit like the sun and the moon. They aren't like on the same schedule, but it is on a schedule.
it's on its
You
own
can, yeah,
calendar, though. It's not just like
Yes.
a random event, a quick time that happens when we
The-
bring
the
a
s- the
horse
squall-
into a certain zone.
the squallender. Yeah, you can math out exactly where the squall's going to be and when.
So, what would be the most beneficial time for folks for us to try and track this down? We need to probably, we don't want to be chasing it, so we probably want to what? Wait for it to come to us and then just like hop from a roof into it? Do we want to try to like maybe tie ourselves down and get like sucked into it just a little bit to see what's going on in there the first time? That idea sounds bad, but I've done worse.
I'll tell you what, I've tried most everything I could think of. I'm a pretty fast runner, I gotta say, and them winds are faster.
Have you tried polymorphing yourself into a horse and then going in it? Because Kid just brought that up not even 10 minutes ago, and that seems like...
I got a question for you, old man.
Yeah.
Do you know how to polymorph?
I do not. No, sir.
Well, when you find out, let me know.
There was like a disguise self kind of spell that could turn you into a horse just for a moment. We might be able to trick the cyclone.
What if we get a bunch of tarp together and stitch it into a horse costume?
It's so dumb. It just might work.
I think y'all are sort of jumping the gun a little bit here on how urgent it is to uphold my half of the bargain.
Oh,
Yes, I was going to ask if we needed to do that first or if we could.
I just assumed that's normally like that way you can hold our. You know what? No, if you want to do our thing with us first, I'll jump into whatever cyclone you want afterwards.
So what are
Mhm.
you proposing?
Me or Sparky?
Yeah, who are you talking to?
Sparky.
I was more concerned with something else. He just sort of like looks over at Kid, realizing that maybe this is something that he's not allowed to talk about.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what are we concerned about though?
A particular asset that would make it
You can
easier to
speak
take
freely,
out.
sir.
All right. So funny story about the Wayward Sons. They had kind of a habit of squirreling away their gold rather than keeping it on them at all times. Kind of funny. They probably would have survived when Sheriff Hall come to collect, if they had it on them at the time. But hindsight's 2020, I suppose. So, what I'm saying is, if we can track down the gold that the Wayward Sons had squirreled away, we might have just the edge we need to take out Sheriff Hall.
I see.
I've got half the map and Hall has the other.
So,
Does half a map do us good?
does the half of the map say, like, the location and everything? Or, like, do you have to start and then it's more based off of a look to the east at the hour of apples and spot the red barn, but the red barn's not even there? It's like a metaphor for the way that the sun hits off a lake or something?
Well, I most definitely have the start point. Well, the end point, but we need the start point as well.
Oh, have we
Um,
discussed what the map looks like?
I had the idea that it was tattooed on his back.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Golden camera.
Why?
Nice.
That would have been good information to share with me, I think.
I don't know, that just happened just now, but Kid has a piece of paper on him. I mean, we could try and approximate. Yeah, well, can I speak?
Yeah, okay, carry on. Sorry.
Keep getting interrupted. It's a little frustrating. Kid has a map. He'll pull it out and splay it on the table. Now, somewhere out there in the desert, there is a butte, couple of cactus stuck together, and what looks like a giant X, but I assume that's where the treasure is.
So that's the funny thing about that. What the map looks like is a giant circle around a large piece of territory. And the X is over the entirety of that territory.
Ta-da.
And you only have half of that circle.
Based off of Rakel's recent scouting in the Path of the Storm,
Mm-hmm.
does any marking on the map seem particularly comparable to any of the territory that she was?
Does it line up at all, is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Since you have specifically been out scouting, and since you are asking that specific question, I have no choice but to answer. Yes. Precisely. The circle that is drawn is the exact path of the squall.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. You ever realize?
But okay. There's an X over the entire territory. The circle is the path of the squall. Is there a particular orientation where any other landmarks from Rakel scouting might come into view, or anything more that we could have gleaned?
You really would hope so, but unfortunately, what you have is half of a circle and half of an X and a position, like a puzzle piece that you have managed to fit together and somehow you still don't have a picture. I gotta say, I was hoping this was gonna be a lot more useful.
You can comment all you want, but Hall is tearing his hair out looking for this.
Why? This tells
Yeah.
us nothing. What good is it going to do him?
Rakel, there is a lot of gold at the end of this.
What is
Gold.
this?
He has the other piece that makes the whole map, so that way he knows where the treasure is.
Theoretically. But if his half of the map told you where... let me tell you what's going through my mind right now. Looking at this all by itself, it makes me assume that the other half of the map would have useful information on it that would make all of this make sense, right?
Perhaps instructions.
But if his half of the map had anything of use on it, don't you think he would have found it by now?
Or it, No, that's not how that works. I was gonna
What
say
if-
it magically shrinks the X to where it actually is.
That it was my point. Perhaps it is magical in that when it was torn, some of that gold was lost, and once it is recombined, it is, and gold is put into it, it gives a more detailed instructions, or perhaps even moves to show you more specifically where things are.
Does the map seem like it contains law?
That's good. That's a good question. Yeah, I think so.
Yep, it's got pollen in it.
Lovely.
So what you're saying is that you don't get to see the whole picture unless the two of them are together.
You don't get to see the whole picture until you get the whole picture.
Ain't that what I said?
Yeah. Anyway, how we doing this?
Well, I had a plan.
Elaborate.
We all ears.
Well, the sheriff's got a new pet project, right?
Yeah, the Dust Devils.
Yeah, I reckon I was gonna pit the two of them against each other.
Mm.
You know, do a whole fistful of dollars sort of thing. Kurosawa.
If I made mad films, they would have a samurai. They're naked ladies.
I got it.
What?
Don't worry about it.
No, I mean, what's the plan?
We are
We are
going to
going-
pit. Sorry, Mistress.
We are going to, because we know that when the pets of the sheriff get too powerful, get too much gold, they are eradicated. We could, in theory, either pad the pockets or make it seem like they have a lot more cash than they do, so that the sheriff starts thinking that, oh, or we could make the sheriff think that they have found the other half of the map. Spread a rumor that they have captured Kid.
I was
Yes?
just gonna say head over to the Dust Devils, tell them what's going on, and offer them some of the gold if they help fight for us. Ain't really that hard.
Well, yes,
Well,
that would be less devious.
the Dust Devils are also expecting to take out a bounty on us and get their own gold.
True, but after a while they are gonna get taken out, and who wants that?
So we either convince the Dust Devils that it is in their best interest to side with us, or we, behind the scenes, make things more difficult for both sides. Show of hands.
So the idea that I had, potentially, the sheriff likes new pet projects, correct? we have not established ourselves as an outsider group. Yet we are also the ones who took out Miss Sissy. What
I
if
don't think we'd be able to present ourselves as a potential gang to be used whenever he is looking for one of us specifically.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that we don't either that, or we say, hey, we brought Kid. And then we do the old, like, he's wearing a poncho and he's just holding a rope at his hands and it looks like he's bound. And then when the guy goes to inspect him, he goes, ha-ha, and throws out the rope under the poncho and whips out his gun. We start working from there.
Yeah,
More of a
last
freeform
time,
plan, more of an agile plan.
last time
environment.
someone suggested this plan, I got left behind.
That doesn't ring a bell to me.
Not with y'all. I don't particularly like being a target, but if this is the only option that is plausible, then sure. I'd rather not.
I wouldn't listen to me. It's not a great plan.
Could also just break into his house and rummage through his shit.
That's true. Triss, you are muted.
Kid, ultimately, this is your space. This is your town. What do you think is the best course of action here?
Let me sleep on it. It has been one hell of a day.
Pause. Maybe is the kitchen at the Lotus, did they have any maybe exotic spices that I could borrow? Well, have. I wouldn't be giving them back.
You'd have to take a look around. I don't know their inventory anymore.
All right. So back to the Lotus for the evening, and in the morning we make a decision. Hopefully no one's seen us.
Mask up.
All right.
Mask up. Antlers.
Yeah, just like hat down. Y'all mosey on over back towards the Lotus. And you're weaving your way through the city streets, starting to sort of make your way away from the Hooskow. When you hear a whistle, kind of draws your eyes upward, and you find hanging out over a banister is a slightly familiar face. You've only seen him once before, and it's Deputy Hawthorne. He's got kind of a snide smile on his face, and he's got his white hat kind of tipped at a cocky angle. You can see that he's got a few of his golden boys flanking him. And he shouts down, well, I reckon that there is what you call an infraction of the law. You didn't happen to break that there outlaw out of the pokey, now did you?
His door swung open on its own.
What's a pokey?
You won't even find any sign of blunt force trauma.
And if I ain't mistaken, is that kid down there?
I'm sorry, we're all adults.
What? No, I'm not. Not a kid. I'm referring to. His name is Kid. Right? His name's Kid, right? And like all of the other golden boys are either like shrugging, mumbling, or sort of like hiding under their hats, like, duh.
God, if I was any other character, I want to try and bluff with ventriloquism to be like, I think his name is Tristan.
It seems like an odd thing to name, but I am not of your species. I will not question your ways.
Regardless, it would be rather unfortunate if the sheriff were to find out you were in town. Though I might be persuaded to keep it hidden from him for, well, I don't know, everything you have on you.
I want to shoot him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am a lady.
I ain't got much gold, but I got lead to sling, motherfucker.
Do you say you want to shoot him, or do you just shoot him?
I just shoot him.
Okay, great. Wonderful. A gunshot cracks out from the back of the group as
Rakel does not have
Rakel...
a firearm. Rakel has a sling.
Right.
David and Goliath is mofo.
Okay, yeah, give me a I guess a ranged basic, unless you have a specific power in mind.
I have a range basic. I would very much like to re-roll that using an action point.
Okay, go for it.
That's not better.
There is a I love the idea that like she shoots twice. That there's a whistle of a stone that flies by him, and he goes, "Whoa!" And he like turns back towards you, looking like really indignant, and then a second one goes by, and he ducks. And he just points down at the group and says, "Get him!" And I reckon we're gonna be rolling initiative when we come back from break.
Yeah, so we are going to be heading off to our break. We're going to be trying to be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see all you acorns next time. Soon. Soon! We'll be back soon. And we're back. Hello, everybody. We have returned. Combat is afoot. Danae, take us away.
When we last left off, our posse was being accosted by these golden boy white hats, and Rakel was having none of it, and ducking under her slingshot. Deputy Hawthorne has commanded the attack, and so they shall attack. From up here on the roof, one of these here lasso lawmen is going to live up to their name, and he's going to try and snag somebody with a lasso. I reckon Triss is the closest, so he's gonna try and get a rope around her antlers like a steer.
Rude.
Wow.
Like a steer. 19 versus reflex.
Versus reflex? Yeah, that hits.
Yes. You will find that you are immobilized. And you're taking ongoing 5 damage, save ends both.
Okay.
And that is what he has done.
Do I take 5 damage now?
You'll take it at the beginning of your turn. Whenever something is ongoing, it resolves at the beginning of your turn. And then saves happen at the end of your turn. Hawthorne. On his turn, I think he's going to try and grab Kid with his lasso. That's a natural 1. No, that's on the other one. Never mind. Sorry, I forgot he has a sustained standard on this. 19 versus reflex?
Let me check.
Unless it... Hold on. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Guys, it's been a hot minute. I'll do it correctly this time. It's still a natural 1! Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, at least it was confirmed. Hawthorne, you suck. Lasso Lava. Oh my god, these guys all rolled pretty high on their initiative, huh? Shoot. Well, this one back here, actually, first of all, I should put a mark on Triss, showing that she is lassoed. The way that this looks, by the way, is that these guys all have white hats and these golden lassos. And he, like, swings it around like, like a cowboy do with a lasso, and he throws it at her. And it comes to life and wraps all the way around her, restricting her movement, which is why she is immobilized. This guy in the back is going to pull out his rifle, and he's gonna start taking pot shots at you guys. Let's go with Kid first. That's another natural one. Next. The next guy will also take a rifle shot. 19 versus reflex.
Still, wait. Stats. Just hits.
Okay. That's gonna be 9 damage.
Ow.
And the next guy. This guy will take a shot at Triss, seeing that she's vulnerable. Ooh, natural 20. Had to happen eventually, didn't it?
Let's go.
I'd like not to. So that's gonna be 14 damage. And then it is Triss's turn. At the top of your turn, you're taking 5 damage from the
That. Target is target one creature standard action ranged weapon. So that goes for my right. Okay, that goes for my rifle, which is dice size. Is that the distance? Oh, 20.
right.
20 to 40. Okay. So they are within my range. So I am going to rhyme strike. Roll. Ugh. Okay. 15 versus AC. I'm going to hit it right in the center there.
Okay. Oh.
It's a burst of 1 centered on the target.
Okay.
So if it on a miss, they take half damage, half of 12. And let's see. On a hit, they're immobilized, but if not, let's see. Creatures in difficult terrain and a burst one centered on the target. The zone lasts until the end of the encounter. If they start their turn there, it takes 5 cold damage, and I can end it as a minor action.
Okay. So a 15 is going to hit.
Dope.
If you're centering it on the center guy, it would hit only him. But if you center it between one of them, two of them, then you can hit 2 of them.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Well, in that case, they both take 12 cold damage and are immobilized save ends.
Cool. On that, I'm going to use a free action to do the Voyage of the Ancients.
Oh.
Which is a trigger. You hit an enemy with an area or close attack.
Nice.
And so I get to teleport up to 3 squares. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. A 3.
Nice.
And I'm going to teleport out of that wrangling.
You do. You teleport out of that lasso. You leave it sort of lying on the ground. You watch as it like scrunches up and around nothing, and is just sort of left wiggling there.
Triss looks up at Hawthorne and just brushes her shoulder.
Okay. Anything else for her?
I still have regular movement, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Right. That was a free action, right?
A free action, yep.
So yeah, you still have your move action.
I'm gonna go ahead and place myself underneath these 2. So I have line of sight to everybody, but they don't have line of sight. Well, I don't have line of sight to these 2 up here, but that way I'm a little bit out of the way or harder to hit. Maybe.
Okay. Sure.
that's my turn.
All right. Ruth, 'tis thee.
All right. I am going to shoot both of the guys on top of the of this house. I don't know how to. Oh, down here. I want to shoot this guy and this guy.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my twin strike. So I will be making one strike against the first and the other against the second.
All right.
So an 11 versus AC or a 12 versus AC.
Both are going to miss.
So if I use an action point, would I re-roll one of those or would I re-roll both?
It's an action, so you're taking a new action.
All
so
right.
you would re-roll both of them.
Hell yeah, let's go. It's worse. Okay, so that does not function the way that I need it to. But I still have my move if I am understanding this correctly.
Yeah, you didn't roll one of those above 6.
So my speed is 6, so I can move 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And can I be under this little grate? This overhang?
Hold on, I think I did. I accidentally closed roll 20.
Oh,
There we go. I got it back open. Sure. Yeah, you can be under there.
okay. Sounds good. So that is my standard action and my movement action. And then as a minor, let me just check here. I am going to activate my battle-crazed weapon.
Okay.
So I deal damage to myself equal to half of my level, which is our level's 3, so I'll be taking 2?
You'll take 1.
Take 1? Awesome.
Yeah, because in D&D you always roll round down.
Awesome. And then I'm considered bloodied for all purposes until the end of my next turn.
Awesome. I'll mark you as bloodied then.
All right. Then that's it for me.
Rad. All right. This here lasso lawman is going to step forward. Yeah, why not? He sort of clicks his spurs, and they become much larger than they were before. And he kind of digs them into the wall, and he's got a climbing speed, so he's gonna roll his spurs down the wall until he's halfway down, and then he's gonna throw a lasso at Kid. 10 isn't gonna hit your reflex.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's him. This here lasso lawman is gonna do something similar. He's gonna come over here, and he's gonna perch on the wall, and he's gonna try and lasso Ruthie. 10 isn't gonna hit your reflex either, is it, bud?
That is correct.
All right. Rakel, it's your turn.
Damn it. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay.
Let me know if you need a Mora back.
I will. Shit, what's my speed? 6. Okay.
Mhm.
So I can get there. This is within a 20, so I want to summon more back here.
Okay.
And then I would like him to do a Stalker Strike.
Okay.
Does 15 hit his fork?
It does indeed.
He takes 14 damage.
Ouch. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Kid, 'tis thee.
Cool beans. I'm gonna step over here real quick so that Hawthorne is within 3 squares of me. Using my minor power, Promise of Storm, so I can deal an extra 2 points of damage as I cast my lightning lure to pull Hawthorne to me.
Okay.
Does a 15 versus Fortitude hit?
Let me double check. Gonna make a note about this rhyme strike for later. All right, I've got that. You said 15 versus Fortitude?
Yes.
It does not.
Can I use an action point to re-roll?
You may.
Minus that by 2. Back on 74. Nah, that's not gonna hit. I can only use 1 action point around, right?
If you have them and you want to spend them,
Here we go!
okay.
28.
Oh, what does it look like? As you fail to hit his fortitude twice and then succeed.
It is Kid, I imagine he's summoning lightning lassos, and it is just like throwing them up into the into where Hawthorne is standing. Hawthorne's looking very haughty. Kid like looks up at him, points down, and 2 of his legs are trapped in the 2 lassos, and he yanks forward or backward. Or no, he pulls upward and then slams down next to Sparky because I can move them anywhere adjacent next to me.
Oh, love to see it.
Now, teacher, I have a question. You said that
Mhm.
people that were up on the raised surfaces were 20 feet
Mhm.
above
Yeah,
where
but my
we were?
abilities are squares, so. Oh, true. Does he take
So
fall
if you're
damage?
throwing a man down 20 feet off of his pedestal, does
Yeah, I-
that do anything for you?
I reckon yes. I do believe that fall damage would be a thing in this situation. Let me just pull up the old compendium.
A d6 for every 10 feet of involuntary fallen is what I recall from 5e.
Yeah, but 4E is probably different.
4E just
Falling.
doesn't have fall damage.
You die.
Yeah.
You slip on some ice and you're just done.
The ground has
A
to
creature
meet you.
takes 1d10 damage for each 10 feet it falls.
Oh, that's a way bigger number.
That's a...
4E, number get big.
Do you want me to roll that?
Yes, please.
11. So he's
Alright.
taking a grand total of 10, 15, 26 points of damage.
Fucking ow. This bitch bloodied.
Can I also yes and this?
Tell me more.
Kid has thrown Hawthorne down to the ground, points his gun right at Hawthorne's chest, and just says, "Welcome to the eye of the storm, you dense motherfucker."
Oh. Okay then.
Sparky has not rolled into initiative, or at least I don't see him.
Oh, you're so right, bestie. Well, you were last in the initiative, so let's just say that Sparky was a little bit slow on the draw here.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah, I'll just put him as a 1 on the initiative.
He's first on the second turn.
I was just waiting for your cue, cousin.
We're cousins.
He's gonna take a quick step to the left there to get some combat advantage. He's just got his hands in his pocket, sort of casually takes a step to the left, and then he looks down at Hawthorne, sort of like, like measures a little bit, and then he's gonna lift his leg up, for a drop kick.
The Ganon axe kick from Smash.
There is so many, I've rolled so many ones today.
Oh my
I thought
god.
you said you were good at kicking.
Does he?
Sparky will use his action point.
Okay.
He's a little drunk, remember?
It's true. I'll hit both of you. Yep.
If
A 15 will hit.
okay.
We'll do 7 damage.
2 with an additional 2 for lightning damage because he has combat advantage.
And an extra 2. This guy is barely holding on. If we're doing like One Piece like cartoon violence here, it's just his boot just like buried into Hawthorne's face. Oh god. All right. Cool. Lasso Lawman. He needs to recharge his lasso. He's gonna see if he can do that. And then try and get Rakel with it, I think. He does not recharge, which is unfortunate because it would have been a natural 20. He's gonna use his rifle instead. It's another natural 1. All right.
Danae, what did you do to roll 20?
I don't know.
Have you sacrificed recently?
I must not have.
You gotta sacrifice.
Listen, so long as it's the DM that's rolling this poorly, I'm okay with it. Another lasso law, man. Okay, so this guy hasn't he hasn't rolled for his lasso yet. And let's see, how far is the lasso? It's ranged 10. I think I can reach Kid from here. I can. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and hit Kid with this lasso. $11 versus reflex?
That's a nope.
I didn't think so. All right. Hawthorne is barely holding on. What can you even do, Hawthorne?
Come on, Hawthorne. You asked us for everything we got, and we're giving it to you.
He's gonna scramble to his feet, and kind of frantically draw his longsword. He's gonna point it at Sparky, and then he's gonna like realize that you're still behind him, and so he's gonna lash out at you.
Okay.
17 versus AC.
Fun fact, I picked up something called the Scald Armor.
What's that though?
It was at your behest.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
You
the ability...
think I remember?
I have an immediate interrupt, and if an enemy target attacks me, if an enemy targets me with a melee attack, I can choose who he attacks instead, and I'm going to force him to attack himself.
Oh my. Okay. Then a 17 is gonna hit him. So what does it look like when you force Hawthorne to turn that sword on himself when he only has 4 hit points left?
God. All right. I have a really funny one, and it doesn't involve the longsword, but it is a scuffle between Hawthorne and Kid, where it is a clear, like, Kid is playing with his food.
Mm-hmm.
And frustrated, Hawthorne whips out a pistol, and right before he pulls the trigger, Kid kicks his hand upwards, and the trigger goes underneath their chin, and he pulls it.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness. Makes him blow his own brains out.
There's the jingle of gold on the ground as he falls into a pile of coins. Lasso Lawman. Okay, so at the start of his turn, he is in a cold zone. From that rhyme strike, he is immobilized. Save ends.
5 damage.
5 damage at the beginning of his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then he's still able to attack, right?
Yeah. You just can't move.
Okay. Cool. He will try and shoot Triss then, considering that she is the source of his woes. 12 versus reflex.
That does not hit.
Okay.
14,
He's gonna
baby.
try and save at the end of his turn.
Okay.
An 8 is not gonna make it. Next guy in a similar situation, he also takes 5 cold damage. He is going to fire at Tris. 25 versus reflex.
That hits.
All right, that's going to be 5 damage. He's going to try and save, and he is not going to save. Sucks to be them. Cool. Tris, it's your turn.
Okay, what's the thing where I can heal at the beginning of my turn? Is that just a thing that happens?
That's a
Healing surge.
healing surge. Yeah, healing
Is
surge.
that a minor action?
I believe it's a standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking at the crib sheet, it's I think like second wind.
Okay.
Yeah, second wind.
We'll hold off on that for a minute. I am going to boy, this guy's really close to me, isn't he?
Sure is.
I can shift as a minor action.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that.
You can
so
shift
I
as a
can-
move action.
Right. And then take aim. And try to hit him with a possessing strike.
Oh.
One creature, ranged weapon, standard action. Oh, no, I'm sorry. And the target makes a melee. Hold on. I think that's actually bad. Oh, okay. Never mind. I changed my mind.
Oi.
I'm going to use a spectral scorpion sting instead.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to roll for that. You're all right, big girl. I know. Pow! That's on the gentleman who's standing in front of me. That's a
Yes.
20 versus AC.
Yes, that will hit.
It's going to do 13 poison damage as I conjure a ghost in an unoccupied square adjacent to the target. And then it's going to last until the end of my next turn.
Let me find
And it's going to take his...
Let me grab you a ghost.
Please do.
Uh,
And then when he starts his turn, he's going to take 5 poison damage.
Yeah, let's give it a little crown. That's kind of fun. Hold on. I had to step out into my menagerie.
If so, it says the ghost lasts until the end of your next turn. Any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to the ghost takes 5 poison damage. If it ends its turn not adjacent to the ghost. Oh, I see. So if he moves away, he takes the damage.
What color do you want your ghost to be?
Green.
All right. Where would you like him?
It's right there. Perfect.
Okay. I thought you might. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him that damage that I haven't just yet. Yes. All right. He's looking rough, but not awful. All right. The ghosts last until the end of your next turn. Any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to the ghost takes 5 damage if it ends its turn not adjacent to the ghost. So basically it means that he has to stay near it or else he takes damage, right?
That is what I'm gathering from that, yes.
I mean, that's what that says, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it says it takes damage at the start of its turn unless it moves or if it moves. It's kind of funky.
It's
It
booming
is?
blade with extra steps.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
Any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to the scorpion takes 5 poison damage if it ends its turn not adjacent to the scorpion. Yeah, okay. That's a really weird way of wording it, but
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's made to not take into account force movement or
Mm,
move
Yeah.
that's done outside of its actual turn.
Well, it seems to imply that if it has a move that lets it move away from the scorpion and then end its turn next to the scorpion, it'll be fine. Like,
like a flyby
next to the
attack.
scorpion is base, is what it's telling me. All right. Anything else for you, Trisannas?
That is it.
All right, Ruth, you. It's all you.
Meh.
It's always been you.
Despite everything, it's still me. So Ruth, this guy right here has come down to fight me on my own terms, and that seems like his problem. So I am going to attack him. Never mind, that's not the thing that I did that last turn, so I still have the effect of my battle crazed weapon. But let me roll. I'm just gonna do a basic. Yeah. 14 versus AC.
Let's see. A 14 doesn't hit.
Okay, I'm gonna use another action point.
Okay.
I have one left after this. Yahoo. 18 versus AC.
18, I believe, will hit.
Okay, so I'm gonna do 12 damage to this guy.
All right. Nice. He's bloodied, definitely. Definitely
Okay.
bloodied. You said that your bloodied condition ends
Ends at on my turn, or ends at the end of my turn,
Okay.
unless I use it again, but I am not going to.
Anything else for you, my friend?
Nope, that's gonna be it.
All right, cool. Cool. Lasso Lawman is right next to Kid. So I suppose he's gonna draw his sword and have at thee. 12 versus AC?
Nope.
Well, it's unfortunate for him. This other Lasso Lawman is gonna take a swing at Ruthie. 12?
12 versus AC is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
My AC
Rakel,
is
it's your turn.
25.
All right.
I'm-
I have this Blood Hunter totem, which gives me a +1 bonus to attack rolls using this totem against bloodied creatures.
Oh!
I would like to make a Stalkered Strike against this bloodied creature.
I would love to see it.
I don't know if that's an attack roll.
Huh?
I
It is.
do not know if this is an attack roll.
It's 25 versus Fortitude.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like an attack roll to me.
Okay, so it's 26 against Fort.
Rad. You've got him. You've got him in your clutches.
It's a
6
Okay.
damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Critical +1. Okay. I don't know how this works.
So if it's a critical, it will have additional damage.
Okay. Critical +1d6 damage per plus or +1d10 damage per plus against a bloodied target. Do I get
Right.
a +1d10 even?
These are referring to if you roll a critical hit. So on a
while
critical
it's
hit,
bloodied.
you would do critical damage, which is maximum, right?
Plus a
And then you
D6.
would do an additional d6 of damage.
Okay, then I do 6.
And then if it were bloodied on top of that, then instead of a d6, it would be a d10.
Okay.
That's what that means.
Okay.
Kid.
Man, this is gonna be real fun. Minor action, marking the biggin in front of me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use my... Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to use my movement to slide back one, shift one.
Mhm.
Lightning lure. I'm moving this dude adjacent to me.
Okay.
Actually, man, that'd be real fun, making him choose.
Do it.
I think I'm going to go with the funnier option, and I'm going to booming blade him instead.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
Wait, no, because that thing doesn't work like booming blade. You have to end up. Yeah.
I'll make this easier for you. The scorpion is gonna disappear at the end of Triss's next turn.
Which is coming up. Oh, and then his turn is right after that. Okay. Booming blade.
Okay.
Powers. Would that be a 13 versus AC? Probably doesn't do it.
Yeah, 13 I don't. Yeah, 13 doesn't hit.
Is this an actual creep? No, I probably wouldn't be able to. Yeah. So I did my minor, my standard. Movement to shift back away. And
Okay.
that is everything. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sparky on his turn is going to scoot up. It like if you blink you miss it. He moves forward like a flash. He's very fast. And he just sort of like stops in front of Triss, sort of tips his hat to her. And then he's going to try and kick the guy in front of him.
Sorry, question for you, Wings. Are marks ubiquitous? Or are they slotted to the character who marks the target?
Well, first of all, in fourth edition, marks either supersede them previous marks, or you just don't mark them at all.
Okay.
So like I'm not gonna mark this. I'm not gonna get rid of your mark if you don't want.
No,
Like-
I mean, if I mark a target, can Sparky use my mark on that target, or does he have to also mark that target?
Yeah, your mark only works for you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay. This is going to hit. He doesn't have a combat advantage, but he is still going to do 9 damage to this guy and also mark him. Let's make Sparky's mark pink. Why not? So yeah, Sparky zooms over, sort of like leaving his poncho fluttering as he's just standing ramrod straight there. And then he sticks his metal leg out to the side and then just brings it in sideways and bounces this guy's head off the wall. Lasso Lawman is going to try and recharge his lasso. No recharge. So, rifle shot on Rakel. Natural 20 for 14 damage.
Owie.
Next Lasso Lawman is going to try and recharge his lasso shot. He does not.
We're not on the
so-
ones that are up in the ice, right?
Not yet.
Okay, good.
So it's the one next to them. So he's going to try
Just trying to keep
and
my shit in order.
right, exactly. I appreciate you help keeping me honest. 16 versus reflex on Kid.
How much damage am I taking?
16 hit.
Yes.
All right, 16 damage. Or not 16 damage, sorry. Only 6. 6. Sorry. My got my numbers crossed. If it were anything else, it wouldn't have been a problem. All right. Yeah, it's just 6 damage. You're good, bro. Alrighty. This guy who is in the ice is gonna go ahead and take that 5 cold. You know what? He is now bloodied. He does not need to recharge his lasso because there's a building in between him and Rakel. That's unfortunate. Fine. He's gonna try and lasso Kid, sort of shivering and shaking in this icy zone. He tosses his lasso and misses miserably, because I believe an 11 doesn't hit your reflex.
Does not.
All right, it's very sad. I feel like his lasso is covered in icicles and just sort of flops over the edge of this bridge. He's gonna try and save against. Ah, he saves. Okay, so he's no longer immobilized, but it's the end of his turn. So one more stint in the ice zone, and he's home free, assuming he survives. Next Lasso Lawman is also going to take 5 cold damage, also getting bloodied by this. And you know what? Just because it's easy to copy your friends, he's gonna copy his friend's homework and try and lasso Kid. 27 versus reflex.
Too high.
Have fun being immobilized.
Okay.
You're immobilized, you have ongoing damage, save ends both. Trisannas, it's your turn.
Hi, it's me. Let's do some fun stuff. So the gentleman who just saved out of it, Triss is going to take out her rifle and aim for him as she is going to take a thorn cloud shot at him. So aiming at him, it is a burst effect.
Okay.
The 22 versus AC.
That'll hit.
So it's gonna be a burst 1. It's gonna do 11 damage to him. The zone lasts until the start of my next turn, and the creature that ends its turn within the zone takes poison damage equal to my wisdom modifier.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Okay. Let me go ahead and draw a little poison zone for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
His own private little poison zone. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, this is so embarrassing. Let me just
I swear
Okay.
this never happened.
This doesn't
I
happen
swear this
often.
So
it's a burst 1, you say?
yes, burst 1.
Okay.
That guy's having a
Yeah.
bad time.
He sure is. He's in zone hell right now.
So yeah, as she takes this shot, it kind of like right at the end, like pierces down and hits the ground between his feet, and he goes, "Ha!" And then all these spikes just shoot out.
Aw.
Poor
Any creature
guy.
that ends their turn within the zone takes poison damage. All right. Sucks for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else for Triss?
Oh boy, I would. I mean, I'm in a pretty good spot. I can't complain. I am fairly hurt. Um. No, I'm good. I'm okay here. But the the spirit does go away, I think, right?
Yes, at the end of your turn.
Mm.
Goodbye, scorpion friend.
Goodbye.
All right.
Did Rakel give us regeneration last time? Is that why we could regen? Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yep, and that was a daily for her. All right. Ruth.
Well, there I go stabbing again. I'm gonna use just my melee basic against this guy that's right next to me. 16 versus AC.
Yes.
That for 7 damage.
He's dead. You've killed him.
Yeehaw! And then I am going to use the rest of my movement to get on the roof.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna start going after this guy.
All right. Scrambling old man on a hot tin roof. Here he come.
Yeah.
You know what? If an old man came at me like that, scrambling across a hot tin roof, I think I'd be a little bit scared.
After he just killed your friend.
Yeah. Pickaxed my friend in the face.
That's
All
your
right,
deal.
Lasso Lawman is he's marked by old Sparky. So I think it stands to reason that he would try and longsword him in the face. 17 versus AC is gonna hit him exactly 7 damage on my poor friend Sparky. Sparky don't like
Reduced
that.
to 2.
Reduced
I
to
use my
2.
immediate interrupt of my Aegis of Shielding to reduce the damage to 2.
What
Because
does
he's
that look
attacking-
like?
The longsword comes down. Kid is like spasming because of the lasso that is around him, but he manages to raise his rifle in time and shoot the sword off of trajectory, and it's a glancing blow instead of a fatal hit.
Nice. He does that. And the sword point actually gets caught in a joint in his leg armor. And it looks for a second like he's in trouble, like he's got a sword like in an inconvenient place. And he sort of like looks at you, kid, and he winks and jerks, and there is a reaction. This guy's gonna take 5 lightning damage. And Trisannas, go ahead and regain 5 hit points
Ooh.
Oh.
as he connects the two of you with a lightning bolt, and he transfers some of that guy's hit points into you.
Clever son of a gun.
All right, Lasso Lawman, that's his turn. Lasso Lawman, that guy's dead. Rakel.
Okay, this guy's dead.
Yes. He slumps to the ground and sloughs into gold coins.
I would like. Sorry, move here so that I am within 5 squares of Tris. And I would like to use a minor action for Healing Spirit so that Tris can spend a healing surge.
Thank you.
And one ally adjacent, well, actually, one ally within 2 squares of my spirit companion. Can regain 6 hit points. The only person there is Ruth, and I don't think Ruth has taken damage.
I was down 1 singular hit point that I did to myself.
Okay, you're topped off.
Yeah, oh boy. That just means I can do it again.
That's very funny.
And Morbek is going to Stalker Strike.
Get him.
23.
23. Yeah, that'll hit.
10.
For sure.
10 damage.
He don't like that. 10 damage is 10 more hit points than he would like to lose. Anything for you? Anything else for you?
That was minor and standard. And move.
All right.
No.
Brad. I went to bed late and I woke up early, and I'm realizing now that lack of sleep makes the wings dumb. Kid, it's your turn.
Hello. I cannot move.
Yeah, you are immobilized as
But
you
I
are
do have a
wrapped
10
all up.
square. I do have a 10 square haha funny move.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, it's 5 square funny move. That's not the right tool. That's not the right tool either. Where are you? I apologize. I'm looking for measurements. Hey, you're in 5. I cast Whirling Blades
Okay.
at the one on the roof next to Morbek.
All right. Yeah, do it.
Does a 20
Tw-
hit?
Yes.
Did he take damage earlier?
Yeah,
From
he was
what?
already damaged.
Okay, so he's just taking 16.
Yep. He's bloodied now.
And once again, everyone sees the trademark grabbing rifle by the barrel, tomahawk, throws towards Ruth, hits the guy square in the head, and the rifle starts spinning into the air and lands back into Kid's hands before he. What do I roll to try and free myself from? Oh yeah, how much damage did I take?
It's just a flat D20. Oh yeah, you take 5 damage. Which technically happens at the beginning of your turn.
Doesn't knock me.
It's fine. We can flavor it however we want. And are you bloodied? I think you are.
Yes, I am bloodied.
All right. Just curious.
Cool. What's my save roll?
You just roll a flat D20.
Oh,
That's the funny
no.
thing about saving throws in 4E. It's just a flat D20.
17.
Ah, you end both. You are no longer you break out of this golden lasso.
A little bit of comedy. The rifle comes back and hits Kid in the head as well, and it breaks him out as he grabs for it.
Oh, bless him. All right, Sparky. He's still got an enemy in front of him. So he's gonna try and honestly, at this point, it looks like a secretary bird and a snake. Where he's just doing like high kicks, trying to pound this guy into the ground.
God, I wish it were me. Oh, I'm not muted. Shit, no.
Yeah, okay, actually. You know what I'm gonna do instead? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use his shift ability. Sparky shifts up to 8 squares and makes 1 melee basic attack at any point during that movement. So he's going to use his melee basic, a 13 versus this guy. Which doesn't hit him, unfortunately. So I guess he'll shift. Yeah, I guess he'll just shift back into position. Never mind. He missed. All right. Lasso Law, man. No, wait, hold on. He had that guy marked. Which gives him a +2 to attack, which means he would have hit 5 damage. Well, he didn't kill the guy, but he at least hit him. All right. He's moving over here now. Cool. Zip, zap, zoop. He moves over there. This guy is going to try and... I feel like he'd be stabbing Morbek at this point because Morbek is the primary threat here. 15 versus AC.
Shit, where is it? There it is.
It's specific. You share your defenses with your spirit companion, so you'd look at your defenses when he
Yes,
targets
it
Morbek.
hits.
Okay. He has to do more than 10 plus 1/2 of your level or higher
So 11.
in order for it to hit, right?
Yep.
For it to dissipate it, essentially.
Yeah, for
Right.
lemon.
So he didn't get higher than 8, or he rolled 8, so he didn't get higher than 10. So you're good. He hits, but he doesn't do enough damage. Cool.
Phases through Morbek.
Yes.
What in tarnation?
What in Sam Hill? Let's see if this lasso lawman refreshes his lasso. He does! 12 versus reflex, kid.
It doesn't actually hit.
It doesn't hit? Okay.
My reflex is 15.
Okay. I thought I'd check.
Yeah.
Shit.
Everyone's throwing shit at me.
All right, at the top of this guy's turn, he takes 5 damage and dies.
Well,
Yeah.
So sad. He saved out of the cold and then only to die,
To poison.
trying to escape.
Truly,
this-
this is a nuclear winter.
This guy, however, is going to take 5 damage at the top of his turn. He's going to attempt to, let's see if Triss is in range. The source of all his troubles. She is precisely in range. He's gonna line up a shot with his rifle. 24 versus reflex.
Sure does.
9 damage to you, Triss.
Owie.
Now he's going to try and save out of the cold. He does not. He's gonna die here. Okay, Triss, it's you, girl.
Oh boy. I didn't think it would come to this. All right, so I've got this gentleman in front of me, and the 2 on the wall, 1 up by Sparky. I'm gonna go for the guy who's standing directly in front of me. And I'm just gonna hit him with a ranged basic and see where we go from there.
All right.
Well, no, I mean anything else I would do would be overkill. Okay. All right, I'm gonna basic ranged attack at the. I'll even take a step back since I got hit. And do that. 21 versus AC.
21's gonna hit.
Okay. It's gonna be 11 damage.
11's enough to drop him.
Nice. Oh, I went. Wait, why did it do biting swarm? I didn't hit
Because biting swarm can be used as a ranged basic. So I just
see.
replaced your ranged basic with biting swarm.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna, instead of taking a step back, I'm gonna move towards Rakel.
And also, since biting swarm is basically just an upgraded version of your ranged basic, there's no reason
Yeah.
not to use it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I'm gonna move right here.
Chris, you have 4 hit points.
I sure do.
And a
How do you feel
dream.
about that?
I'm not great. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. It's just making conversation. Ruth, it's your turn.
all right. So
I don't have any health. I can't do shit.
So Ruth is going to run and jump off the ledge of this building onto the bridgeway, poke his head out so he can see the 2 guys over there, and I would like to use my ranged cut and run to basically like turn the corner, see 2 men, and just and like hip fire, like just shoot twice.
Okay.
So that would be you know what, I want to make sure that I hit with both, so I'm gonna use my my last action point to hope for better.
Rad.
24 and 21, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So
That'll
the first
defo hit.
guy is going to be taking 6 damage.
Okay.
He's the one in the froze zone.
Okay.
Does he drop after 6?
He does not.
Okay, then 21 versus AC, and he'd take 8.
All right, he dead.
Okay, so then after after that, I can shift 3 squares.
Technically this is between the attacks. So
it
make
says
sure
after
that
the
wherever
first
you-
or the second.
Oh, well then never mind.
Yeah.
Continue.
So then
Carry
I'm
on.
gonna go back down the stairs to like duck to do a quick duck for cover.
I stopped reading after it said after the first.
No worries.
I
We're
have
good at this
ADHD.
game,
I'm
guys.
sorry. All right. This lasso lawman, he said 1. He played knick-knack and he's dead. Okay. Rakel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question about movement and uh can okay. If Morbek moves here, does that provoke?
Where? I didn't see anything.
There. Did it
It's not moving
did
it.
it do?
Yeah,
It's not
I'm
doing-
not I'm not seeing a ping or
Oh,
anything.
there
Oh,
it
there it
is.
is. There it is. Does that provoke?
Yes. Okay.
Because you are exiting a threatened square. And in 4th edition, that counts like a movement from here to here, or like here to here, here to here. It's exiting any threatened square. Even if it's into another threatened square.
Offset with shifting.
However, Morbek could shift if he wanted to.
Get combat
So,
advantage.
If you have him shift here, then you could gain combat advantage and add 2 to
It's-
your attack.
It's not the combat advantage that
it's
I'm
the
trying to
heal.
fish for. It's anything other than my daily that would be able to heal Trish.
I see. Well, let me put it this way.
I will wait. He wouldn't be able to shift here, would he?
There's no reason not to.
Okay.
I mean, like that square right there is like cut directly down the middle by the roof. I'm willing to let you decide whether you're on the roof or on the ground there.
Morbek was on the roof, but was specifically chasing this guy. 16 to hit,
Yes.
6 damage.
Ouch. Ouch, he says. He's very low on hit points.
And I'm gonna move over here.
Okay.
There we go.
Anything else for you?
That's it.
Kid.
Hello. Kid starts walking towards the bridge.
Okay.
And he will shout out up to the 2 up there.
One of those is
Akish-
dead. The one closest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll shout out to the one that's up there. You can either die tired as I shoot you in the back, or you can die after I talk to you. Your choice.
Intimidation check?
Yeah, sure. Or diplomacy. Well, I think it's the same.
I mean, whichever you prefer. I could see you spinning it either way.
I guess.
You're making a very persuasive argument, but also you're being very persuasive.
I was gonna say, we brought
Diplomacy.
his life into the dealing table. I don't know if that's a diplomacy. It feels more like an intimidation.
I feel like you could spin it one way or the other.
I'm using intimidation tactics, which is the name of my gun.
Ooh. Okay. You see him kind of like looking over at the 2 guys that like got frozen solid in that horrible zone of cold. And he's all like, what kind of talking?
We can resolve it after another turn. That should be like 6 seconds.
Sure.
Because I assume we're about to just kill this dude and then end combat.
Sure. Well, let's see if Sparky can get this high kick in. Okay, yeah.
That's
You
the
got the
highest
high
kick
kick
he's
in.
ever had.
Ooh, this. Ooh.
I mean, I do like the idea of you giving that threatening giving that threat to this guy up on the bridge. And while this guy like mulls that over, Sparky just like aces the dude on the
Literally
roof.
kicks him right under the chin and takes his head clean off.
Yeah, I think that guy's the last one alive. I think he'd be willing to to surrender in this situation. Sure. Let's end combat there.
Woo! Okay, now the real question: action points. Do we get one back?
This was first combat of today, wasn't it?
No,
It is the first combat, but you did have a role play encounter. So that's 2 encounters. Yeah, go ahead and have an action point.
Yes.
Triss takes out her camera and she takes a picture of dead Hawthorne. Puts it over her head, just.
All right, you guys do get some reward from this. It's 120 gold pieces.
Each?
All things said. No, not each.
Oh, okay.
All together.
30 per if divided evenly.
Dang. Get it. Kid will. Now, if you run, we will shoot. Now, just mosey on down here so we can have a chat.
I think I'd like to stay up here, actually.
Ruth will just poke his head out from behind the bridge and he's not going anywhere. He levels a pistol at this guy.
I feel like I should make you more amenable to talking with me, so how about this? Kid holsters his gun.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you walk over to the Lotus Garden within our sights and head on in, we'll talk there. I will never violate Lady Black's rules.
Okay. This guy looks pretty suspicious. So I think just as a show of good faith, he's gonna leave his weapons on the ground. And he's not like turning his back on you or anything. He's gonna keep facing you as he does so. But yeah, he'll
Kid
go
will
over
walk
to
alongside him, but a good distance away, not within arm's reach, you know?
he goes to the Lotus Garden and darts in like it's gonna be safety for him. He knows that the Lotus Garden is armistice territory.
Turning to the group. Alright, I think we got an in with the Dust Devils at the very least.
What makes you think that?
Give him enough gold and send him back on his way to his boys and say, hey, there's a lot more of this if we overthrow the sheriff. Look what he did to the last group.
Are you talking about the guy who just went into the Lotus Garden?
Yeah.
That's a lawman.
They are.
It's one of the sheriff's
together.
golden boys.
Oh, well, there was some miscommunication on RJ's part.
Well, shit.
Well,
looking around at all the dead bodies.
This didn't need to happen at all. Slaps knee, walks out of town to the tornado. Arms raised.
Just walks into the door, is lifted. Just whee.
T-pose, ascend.
Rewind.
Take the wheel.
At the very least, we can ask him.
Return to my people.
At least we could ask him what the sheriff's habits are if we hide the bodies well enough.
Right, should we...
There are no bodies.
Yeah,
they
we're
exploded
hiding
into
them
gold.
in our
Gold.
coin purses, my friend.
Well, yeah, we can ask for habits, see when the sheriff is least suspecting of an ambush.
A question: the deputy didn't have any keys or particular weapons or anything on him, did he?
No, nothing in particular like that.
I
Just
mean,
the gold.
Is this a bad idea?
It might be the best bad idea that we have. I mean, we've come this far.
Right. Well, wish me luck. Pat, pat.
All right. What information are you looking for from this lawman?
Basically, if he knows if Sheriff Hall has any habits where he leaves his residence for an extended period of time, if he knows if Sheriff Hall has a particular map piece you know, if he has the map piece on him or is on display somewhere, if he would know that.
Hmm. Okay. Give me an intimidation check,
I
or a
would like
persuasion, or streetwise.
Connor.
I would like to roll speak with spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and because I have the spirit speaker feat, I can grant the power's effect to an ally within 5 squares of me rather than myself.
Oh, that's sick. That's
I
cool.
would like to confer upon Kid the spirit wisdom.
I'm gonna roll diplomacy. Kid is giving this guy alcohol. He is literally talking with him in a neutral space, being amenable.
Okay.
He's not immediately shooting him in the face.
Okay.
27.
Nice. Yeah, that's very successful. This guy seems like he was pretty he
Low on the
he
totem
was
pole.
he's been pretty done with Sheriff Hall's behavior for a while now. In fact, Hawthorne was a real dick to have to work under also. So meeting on completely neutral ground, and having, plausible deniability of that much. Yes, he is willing to give you a good amount of information. First of all, Sheriff Hall keeps his half of the map on his person. And he does leave his residence frequently. In fact, he goes out into the squall lands most days, for some reason. This guy has been alongside him, and in fact, he tries not to go out to the squall lands with Sheriff Hall. He tries not to get assigned to that because you don't really go out to the squall lands with Sheriff Hall without getting a shovel pressed in your hands, and being told to start digging.
Great. That sucks, honestly. Listen, dude, did I get a name from this guy? I'm forcing you to name this NPC. It's my boyfriend
Right.
now.
I have to try real hard not to name him Jedediah.
Just name him Ford or Bronco.
His name's Austin.
Oh no. So,
Austin, the golden boy.
So, Mr. Austin, if you were to receive a sum of gold to get out of town, would you accept it?
Suppose it depends on the sum of gold.
Right. Feasible enough for me to pay out of pocket, but how much more would it be to try and convince your friends to get out of here too? You're working under the dickest of dicks. This is not great for anyone's work-life relationship.
Well, let me put it this way. I get out of town, and that's probably considered a casualty. If me and all my friends get out of town, that's considered a mutiny.
Right, you and the law. I mean, could always try to bring the sheriff to justice under your heel. He's been doing some scummy things around these parts. Loads of people testify against him if you actually brought higher courts into this.
I'm gonna put it this way. I take whatever gold you're willing to offer me. I pick a direction, and I start walking. And the first sheriff I come across, I point back in this direction. And then whatever they find here, they find here. You have that much time to figure out what you're doing here and get out.
Okay. There is a clunk as 50 gold coins exit Kid's purse and are put down on the table. You can take my horse too if you need a little bit of speed under your heel.
I know better than to ride a horse next to the squall.
Ah, that's true.
Do we pick a direction?
I suppose if you want to.
I mean, this is above the table. Did he say he would pick a direction, or did he say
He said that he would pick a direction in
To walk
a
in.
in a sort of like flippant, like I walk in a direction, as though he didn't have a direction in mind.
would it be a bad idea to send him toward Glimmer?
No, I was actually going to suggest that. Glimmer needs a couple of lawmen. They're sort of missing their missy.
He picks up the gold off the table. All right. I'm looking for a new job anyway.
Godspeed, safe travels.
You're gonna need more luck than me.
Harmonica in the distance.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. It's gonna take a long time for him to walk to Glimmer, but he seems determined. So off he goes.
Got a new idea, and it is to convert every single one of his deputies out here. Get every one of his deputies out here slowly through romance.
You're playing the good version of BioShock.
I'm
Where
playing
you're going
Stardew
to-
Valley.
Yeah. You're gonna sweet talk all of these deputies into being good guys, for real, for real. All right, he heads off. I think we're at about time then. If I'm looking at the clock,
I reckon.
I reckon we're at about time. So as you spare the life of this sole lawman, and you find some sort of mutual respect across the bounds of the law, we see this guy walking down the main street. Sorry, I'm trying to play this straight. I just had the mental image of him just getting capped.
No, I was gonna say. No one leaves serendipity.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fridge this guy. I can't do it. Yeah, he goes walking down the street, and he with his pockets heavier and perhaps his heart a bit lighter, and his conscience a bit clearer, as you set him on the right path.
Hell yeah. Danae, thank you so much for running this game. I know the 4E is not easy for anybody involved, least alone our GM, but you're doing a fantastic job that I greatly appreciate, but I always appreciate whenever you're on this channel. Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
Well, you can find me at DnAkeener.com, of course. That's my name and where you can find me. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. Dracula Daily is coming up, and I'm chomping at the bit to do some fan art. So where could you see that? Why, over on DnAkeener.com. I reached over to mute myself, but my mouse went to the leave button. I was this close to just hanging up. DnAkeener.com.
Hello, everybody. My name is RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter, Twitch, and most other socials. I'm doing a lot of things in a lot of places, so come check out there whenever I retweet where I go live, DnAkeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Instagrams. You can find me on Twitch at Hack Recklessly, where we stream Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We're in a level 15 campaign where I have just introduced Chompy the Awakened, a T-Rex that is an awakened T-Rex who wished to be a dragon. I'm very excited for that fight. and you will see a character you've seen on this channel before. Ermalie has been captured by him, so she, in this campaign, is the champion of the god of peace, and boy, is she in some trouble. So check us out on Sunday if you want to catch some of that. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi, I'm Cyber. I'm here. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this currently just on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But we are hopefully going to be getting something gearing up Mother's Day weekend, which I believe is going to be May 11th. RJ, does that sound right?
Wait.
Is it Monday, May 11th? It's not a Monday. It's the Sunday?
No.
Is that what we were thinking towards?
No, it's a Saturday.
Saturday? Okay, then it's the 12th.
You want May 12th?
May 12th. We are planning on cooking something up for that day, hopefully. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes peeled, and look for some upcoming news about an amazing experience that we are going to try and craft for this channel. But for now, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to, again, join us at patreon.com/indooradventures, which is, hey, guess what? We are going to be heading over now. So I'd like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to Danae for running this absolutely fantastic game. And thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. See you soon.